Hello everyone, I'm Rob Swiftly, the Black Quantity VTF here with this week's market wrap-up. And how many times do we have to do this? How many times? How long have I been here? Let's look at the 60 SPY. Do things trade in broadening formations? I think they do. Higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. Boom, and back into this. So here is the broadening formation for your 60-minute SPY. If you go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, boom, 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 boom here. And you're going to see it as clear as a bell on the daily. Right here, like this. Here you go. Ready? And take them into the highs. Let's draw it. Lower, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. Rev strat, hammer, gap up, and go take them out. So that's what you got. We've seen that a million times. It happens all the time. And if we go back to SPY too today, and what you're going to see here, if we shrink it down to that one, if you go back like this, you're going to see this. You're going to see how even like before here, but you can see once again, you can see how it's forming a 1 minute broadening formation here again. You're going to see this in everything once you know to start looking for it, but there's that. And if you go back before this, here, you even had it down here, which gave you the continuation right here. See this? Higher highs, lower lows. Boom. And this is how you can start to gauge stuff when you come back through previous ranges, right? And so here, you get the higher high, you look for the continuation coming down here. But you do it on the bigger ones too, but it happens on everything. So you want to see that kind of thing, because if we go back to the daily, once again, you saw this is that 60, but this is a monster continuation from the original one that started in March. Higher high, lower low. Higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, and then came all the way back up, just when you know what to look for. So anyway, that leaves us with on the week, for the month, stay green. We're inside quarter and up, all right? And so for the weekly, here, hammer, counter, shooter, triangle them out, triangle them out. So certainly what's the next two is going to get my attention here, and the hammer above this, because that'll be above 283.47. Because then we're looking to take that out, and then we can start going back towards the new highs. So we'll see how that goes. QQQ, a little bit worse here. So Qs goes 2 to the downside on the day. For the week, on the week. So Qs are middle of the week. How are we going to get out of that next week? So the Qs having a little bit tougher of a time. And you can see on the daily here, it's still putting in the lower highs. So Qs have cooled off a little bit, and that was some of the Fanger stocks mellowing out. And so for this week, you saw Facebook. Right, and just like that hammer counter shooter on the weekly for the SPY, here you got the shooter counter hammer on the downside for the Facebook this week and Netflix. Not the end of the world, but the same pattern going to the downside over there. Then we had Nvidia come out with earnings, and outside week. Gee, I wonder what that's going to look like. There's your broadening formation we've been watching for that. So this helped gauge knowing that we had some more to the downside today. Much like Tesla was inside day to the downside, right? And so here's the greater triangle there. And the way we know that is if you go to the weekly and you see an outside bar, it has to be a broadening formation because it took out both sides. Then when you get the shooter like this, shooter counters outside bar, 3, 2, 2, back in. You reconfirm that on a day like today. Boom, inside day and down. It's Friday. You get some cheapo options and watch that thing dump more than 15 bucks. So that was real nice. At the beginning of the day, we got some nice breaks on the inside days to the downside, here like NOW and Amazon. But then, as we went inside on the 60 and came back up, now you have that rev strat set up on the daily and Amazon if they want to come rip that come Monday morning. So we'll see how that goes. Basically, a lot of the stuff that was really moving for it this week was XLP. All right, we had the XLP come out, the XLU, and so VNQ and the REITs. All right, so VNQ, and that was real nice. VNO. So just knowing where the sector rotation was going really helped you out. Also, at a little bit, certain extent, the XLV, and that gave us some of the old school druggy Bristol Myers a little bit. You got Merck, Pfizer. All that kind of stuff coming up. So a little boring compared to the other stuff, but then JDST was a real rocker here too with the gold puker. Now going inside day, but you can see it's 2 days. When you have that kind of a range, you want to understand how to trade something like that, not just sit there and stare at it. And that's how I help you out. But We'll see how this rotation goes. Like I said, the Q's lagging now. Small capper's neutral still. Small cap's still just stuck here doing nothing, all right? But you do have that weekly hammer in here to try and get out of there. But the diamonds finally picks it up, and that had some help from the XLP. Diamond's an outside weaker here. That's a fractal try and the SPY. Like I said, hammer counter shooter, and we'll see how that goes. So a couple of things that I do besides make the weekend video for my VTF, and if you want to get that, contact us here at T3 Live. I also come on Facebook, on the T3 Live Facebook, Monday through Thursday, 12:30 Eastern with the halftime show. Give you a pretty good idea what's going on and what we're looking to do later in the day for the rest of the day. Also on Tuesdays, 1 hour after the close, I come on the YouTube on T3 Live and do the Wheels in Motion show for about a half an hour or so or whatever, and talk about some of the things that are lined up for the week that we're going after, and that can be very helpful too. We got the air show in Chicago, and I can hear the Thunderbirds roaring overhead. Can't wait. My favorite weekend in the city. So it's as we wind down in the dog days of summer. I hope everybody had a great week and has an even better weekend. I'm Rob Smith, the Electronics VTF here at T3 Live.